we'll just go ahead and jump on over to the next big park that announced is having all of these reimagined and revamping and retheming and all of this. And there's a lot to talk about in this park as well. And that is EPCOT. So one of the very first announcements that's happening is Test Track is being reimagined to the original World of Motion. I had to look this up because I haven't been going to Disney long enough or to really understand what the World of Motion was. Is that something that you're familiar with?
No, because I think, didn't World of Motion go away in 1996? Am I right?
Yeah, you are right. So I was,
yeah. I never wrote it, yeah.
Yeah, so, but it sounded like what I looked up a video and I listened to the song that everybody was saying that was like a big nostalgic part of it. And it looked very similar to Spaceship Earth, like how you are in this like little cart that travels on something, I don't know. And you just kind of went through like different scenes about history of transportation. And so I'm really curious to see what they're going to change this into EPCOT. Like I'm curious if this is something that like the fans that are well familiar of World of Motion, like, are you excited with this change for Test Track? I don't know. I just don't know enough about World of Motion, but it sounds cool, I guess.
I don't know. I'm a little suspicious because I think the thing that people love most about Test Track is the speed, which I would be honest,
true.
I'm not a Test Track fan, but people are like, it's so fast. And I'm like, I drive faster than that on the interstate every day going to my job. But I don't know. I don't know how people will feel, but I do suspect it won't be quite the slow moving vehicle, that maybe it was the first time, because I don't know that people would go for that as a positive change. So
that's true.
To see what they'll do.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I should probably I don't think it was going to be similar to slow moving. Like I really have no idea, but I like Test Track. I feel like it's one that like it has a single rider line, and not a ton of Disney rides have single rider lines. And so usually we do it if we have some time, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that one. Okay. Another announcement for EPCOT is we finally have some sort of night show happening in EPCOT. I feel like EPCOT has needed this. They haven't really, in my opinion, they haven't had a show that makes me want to stay till the end of the night and stay for the fireworks show and go through the crowd and deal with all that. Like in my past few trips, I've just been like, we'll skip it. And I know that EPCOT Forever was a temporary show and it was just kind of a filler. Then they had Illuminations. Or not Illumination. No, they had Harmonious. Harmonious was cool, but like I saw it a couple times and I was good after that. I don't know if that's a controversial opinion, but that's just kind of how I felt about it.
I mean, I loved Harmonious. I really did. I think partly though, because like it's the music teacher in me, and I really liked the different take on the music and all that. But EPCOT Forever has been a sad little replacement. And I agree with the masses. I don't like all that junk out in the lagoon. Like, I don't really like looking out at all the pyrotechnic stuff just sitting in the water.
True.
It is an eyesore. I did enjoy watching the show. So I'm curious to see if they, they're going to go less equipment and how they're still going to accomplish something that people, will be mesmerized like they are with Magic Kingdom fireworks or whatever that you, like you said, you really want to stay for.
Right. I agree. I do think EPCOT is kind of in a unique position as far as fireworks shows go, because you can really stand anywhere in the World Showcase and have somewhat of a good viewing. And that's a perk because, when you're in Magic Kingdom and you're trying to watch the fireworks show, you're crowded in with hundreds of other people right next to you. And sometimes it's a lot. And so, I don't know. In that way, EPCOT, I feel like, is a little unique for their fireworks.
No, I agree. I like that you can stand around. I think people get, unlike Magic Kingdom, where everybody can kind of smush into a big area, I feel like at EPCOT, everybody's trying to smush up to that fence. And so it does get a little, people kind of trying to needle in and edge in and get in front of you and put their kids in front of you and stuff. Yeah. But I still think you're right. It's a really good viewing situation. And really, there's no bad vantage point. So I think that's a plus.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely excited to see what this show is all about in EPCOT. This one is coming in. Oops, switch over to me. I'm really excited to see the show in Epcot. This one is starting in December, so that's like somewhat soon. So that's exciting to look forward to. Test Track, do you know if they gave it like a timeline of when they're kind of redoing Test Track? I missed it. If they did.
I didn't see one. If they did. But I could have missed it. There was a lot of announcements in one day. But,
yeah.
Not that I saw.
Okay, cool. Okay, another kind of bigger announcement is this Moana Journey of Water. So maybe I just did not pay close enough of attention, but I kind of thought this was some sort of water experience, but after looking more into it, it is not. It's like a self-guided tour where it sounds like you can go down one path that's the dry path and one path that you might get wet or something. So it seems like it's somewhat educational, which, kind of fits the standard for Epcot. It sounds unique. It reminds me of the Gorilla Falls Trail in Animal Kingdom. Like, I wonder if it's going to be something like that. I assume it's going to be something like that. But it sounds okay,
I think Epcot is kind of in need again of an area. It's such a hot park. It's a big park. You have to walk around a ton on concrete. So I think it will be nice to have an area like that you can rest in. I have a small-ish fear as a Disney adult that it will just kind of become a place where people will go with their kids for a break and just kind of let their kids run rampant during the day. And I'm not sure I'm signed on for that. But, with the wet and dry options, like, where I'll be, because I hate to be wet during the day at a theme park. I don't like water rides, so I will take the dry path. But I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be cool to check out what it is. And, just to get the construction down in Epcot and be able to go through the park again will be really great.
Yes, I was there this summer, and there is a lot of construction going on in Epcot. Like, all the walls are literally in the middle of the entire park, like before you get to the World Showcase. So, I didn't feel like it impacted, anything too terribly, but there's definitely a lot going on. So I'm definitely excited for some things to come down and finally for us to see some new things. It looks like Journey of Water is opening in October 16th. So that's exciting to look forward to. I think I pieced this together. I wasn't entirely sure what was happening, but it looks like they are just connecting World Discovery and World Nature, those two like neighborhoods in Epcot. Is that like what this celebration final piece of Epcot is all about?
I feel like yes, but I can't really picture in my mind what that's going to mean. Like, are you able to picture what that's going to look like?
No. And I tried to look up a map, but it was really hard because, all the maps are before all of the renovations and things like that. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what will happen with all of that. But I think this is like the last big part of Epcot going through this transformation as far as all the construction and things that have been going on. Because there has been a lot of construction in Epcot recently. Soarin is coming to Soarin over California is coming to Soarin September 22nd. And here's how I feel about this one. I really like Soarin. I think it's a great ride. But I always kind of liked being able to go over to Disneyland's California Adventure and experience Soarin over California in California. Like, it just kind of made sense in my brain. And I felt like that was part of like getting over to California. Like, you can only see it over there. But it sounds like they're doing it because of the Disney 100 celebration. So I get it, it makes sense. And obviously I'm still gonna check it out, but what are your thoughts? Do you prefer like Soarin' over California over Soarin' around the world? How do you feel about this?
I have so many thoughts on this. So I am completely ecstatic about this. I don't really think, I don't know how long they're going to do this, so I'm hoping maybe I'll get to experience it. But so the skinny on this for me is I went to Disneyland in 2004 when Soarin' over California was fairly new. And I was there with my aunt, who I go to Disney with every year. And we were like, this is great. They have to bring this to Epcot. Well, sure enough, within the next 2 years, I think it was, they did. And, so it was Soarin' over California when it was first there. We still loved it just as much. The smell of the orange groves, the golf course, the whole shabam. So I love it. I'm not saying I don't love the new Soarin', but I love the original. And I also think the soundtrack for Soarin' Over California is so much better than what they did with the soundtrack for Soarin' Around the World. So I could not be happier it's coming back.
Yeah, I guess that's something I didn't think about is the soundtrack. I guess it's been a while since I've probably done Soarin' Over California to really understand the difference between the two. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to experience it in Florida, because I get it. You know, getting over to California seems like way farther away than going over to Florida, which, even though I'm in the Midwest. But, you know, I guess a couple more things. I did want to bring this up because I saw that you shared something in your story, and I was like, ooh, let's talk about that. In EPCOT, they are having a couple meet and greets. I know that they're bringing Moana. They are bringing Moana when they open up the Journey of Water self-guided tour experience. And so that kind of makes sense. But they also just brought back Figment. They just brought back a meet and greet with Figment. And I wasn't really planning to talk about any of the meet and greets because I just don't really have a whole lot to say. But Kristen shared something in her story that I thought was interesting to talk about. And that was that she just did not understand the hype about Figment. So tell me more about that.
I don't get it. And I'm not throwing shade on anybody who loves Figment. Buy the popcorn bucket, I don't care. But I don't understand. I think that is like probably my least favorite attraction at Disney, like out of everything. I don't want to ride Figment. I hate the song in there, that music. And I just don't understand the obsession with Figment. I don't get it. And even, I'm seeing these 3-hour lines in the parks today, and I'm seeing Figment bounding out, just being his goofy self. And
yep.
I'm not understanding. But you know what? All those people can wait 3 hours for Figment, while I am in line with a shorter line for something else. So that's...
Yeah, that's true. I do remember the popcorn buckets, Figment popcorn buckets. People were waiting outrageous amounts of time. And I've always thought that, like, maybe there was just something that I just, like, has Figment always been, is Figment just a Disney thing? Is Figment, like, is this a show? I don't know anything about Figment. I don't know.
No, I think he's straight up a Disney thing. And forgive me that I can't think of the name of his pavilion there. Like you pass the land and then you come up on where he is. But I think the last time I rode it was maybe 10 years ago, and we were just like, we're not doing this again. We're never coming back to this. So it is always a skip for me, no matter what. I guess if somebody really wanted to ride it that I was with, like, okay, I'm down, I'll ride it. But I just don't understand it. And, I know I'm weird here because he is a phenomenon. People love him. He's almost become like the character of EPCOT, like almost a person. So I think I'm just strange.
No, I totally agree. I've never been on the Figment train either. I don't know, but I also just thought that maybe there was something I was missing about him, but I don't know. So you guys should definitely let me know your thoughts about Figment, because I feel like this is a very controversial question in the world of, Disney. People either love him or don't care about him at all. And I'm probably on the...
I will say on my story, 58% of people agreed with me that they don't get it. And then a few were like, I love Figment. So
oh, that's funny.
But
that is funny. Love it.